Guys, ammunition for this video has been provided by Browne Works Inc., manufacturer of fine custom handgun grips. If you guys are looking for very unique, very customized handgun grips for your favorite handgun, contact Mark at Browne Works Inc., link in the description below, and create something beautiful for your favorite handgun. And don't forget to tell them Wyoming Gun Project sent you. So today we are going to take a look at the Glock 45 in 9mm. What is the Glock 45? So the Glock 45 is essentially a Glock 19 upper on a Glock 17 frame with some minor changes. I think they changed the grip here a little bit and the stippling and stuff like that. But this is also essentially the same gun that was submitted to the handgun, the U.S. Army handgun trials, which the SIG 320 ended up winning. But this is basically the same, minus the thumb safety, the color, and some other minor stuff. But so again, this is essentially a Glock 19 on top, Glock 17 on the bottom. This is their most updated one, and I believe, it is my opinion, that this is the finest Glock that they make. I think they really nailed this combination of the shorter slide and the larger frame. It's fantastic. So I did buy this gun used. This is my gun. I did buy this used from a local shop for, are you ready? $440. This thing was practically brand new. I mean, it is in fantastic shape. Came with the metal night sights. Came with 3 of these magazines, 3 17-round magazines. Now, I don't know if the standard factory pistol comes with that many, but that's what it came with when I bought it. And I dig these base pads, man, how they kind of curve up. Those are super cool. I really like the updates that they have done to this pistol, especially chamfering the front nose. It took them, it took them decades and 5 generations before they finally did that. I mean, Glock definitely moves slow as molasses when it comes to changing their guns. But the funny thing is people be like, oh, like with SIG, you're innovating too much. You're doing too much. Slow down. And then they go to Glock. They go, Glock, you're not innovating fast enough. Change your gun. So you can't make everybody happy. But it's my opinion that Glock just takes a long, they keep pretty much pumping out the same guns. And, you know, there's something to that. If it works, if it ain't broke, don't fix it type of thing. Same way they're still pumping out AK-47s all these years later. But what do we have here? We have front and rear cocking serrations. Again, this one comes with metal night sights. It has ambi slide stop slide release. It does have a mag release that is swappable, so you can swap it to the other side. They come with these removable back straps. Now, it only came with one, and it was the big one. I took it off because I hate it, and this fits so much better in my hand. It still does not have a Picatinny rail. Glock, come on, man. Why? Why do you have to do this? Why can't you just put a normal Picatinny rail like everybody else does? You just got to be different, huh? It does have the dual captured recoil spring system that they've had in their guns for a while. I believe, now somebody correct me if I'm wrong, because I believe this is like an updated national match barrel thing, because it's hard to see here because I have shot this gun and I didn't really clean it, but it does have a target crown. Let's see if we can zoom in and see that. Yeah, there you go. It's like a step right there inside. It's a target crown in this barrel. And I think, if I remember correctly, that they were saying these barrels were supposed to be more accurate, but we'll see when we get out on the range. Now, I have owned this gun for probably about a year. This was one of the first guns I bought locally, and I have never put it on paper that I can remember. I've only shot steel with it. So there you go. You can really see the step in that light. That's perfect. Let me zoom in a little bit again. There you go. You can see the target crown right there. That's perfect. So I don't think I've ever put this gun on paper. I've just kind of shot steel with it and hit the steel, and it works great. So, you know, one of the big reasons for me why this is so much better than the Glock 19, and let me say something, I will fully admit, I do not have any experience with the Gen 5 Glock 19. So I don't know if they fixed the grip. I don't know what they're doing with that, but I do own 2 Gen 4 Glock 19s, and I'm going to show you one. Here's one with the green frame. So as you can see, they are essentially, let me get them in the camera here. They are the same size, okay? But the grip, oops, fell down. But the grip is longer. So it is probably 3/4 of an inch longer on there. So if that's something that, if you can conceal carry this and you're worried about the grip, which is the most printable part of the gun, I don't know. The biggest problem I have with the Glock 19 is the grip. This grip is wide. Man, it feels like holding a bar of dial soap to me. Now, look where the hump hits in my hand, right there. That to me is super annoying shooting this gun. Now, I can shoot this gun pretty well, but look where the hump hits on my hand right here. It starts to hit down lower here, and the Glock hits right here, right there. And I hate that. This is one of the reasons I never liked the Glock 19 and I always liked the Glock 17, is just this grip. So when I bought, I'm gonna show you another one, another Gen 4. These are both Gen 4s, by the way, Glock 19. And as you can see, this one has been to hell and back. This was my main carry gun for years and years, and it still shoots fantastic. But as you can see, I rounded the trigger guard, I removed the finger grooves, I heated up, I took a heat gun and I heated up and squished the frame here to try to get it straighter. And then I did this little stippling ball thing all over it, which looks like crap, but it feels so much better. You can tell just by how far I can get my thumb on the mag release. I can completely cover the mag release with my thumb with this grip. The other one, there's still some showing there, if I can get. So the grip has always been the biggest issue for me on the Glock 19. And I pretty much fixed it with this one, but I still wasn't completely happy. I always, for me, enjoyed the Glock 17 grip. So when they came out with this gun, I always wanted one. I never bought one. I mean, they came out with it while I lived in Virginia. I never bought one until I got here in Wyoming, and I saw this sitting in a local shop, and it was a crazy, insane price is $440. That's what I paid for it. And that's a great price. And so far, this gun has been fantastic. They do offer this, I believe, with the MOS cutout on there. I don't really care about that. I'll shoot it like this anyway. But yeah, it has the standard, pretty much standard Glock trigger, although I think they changed the internals on these. Yeah, well, they might. Let me see the Gen 4. Yeah, so here's the firing pin. See the firing pin block right there? And they changed it to that. It's bigger, wider, and it's more angled. So the trigger to me, I don't necessarily say it feels lighter, but it feels better. It's still a Glock trigger, but to me, even the factory trigger feels a little bit better than these Glock 19s, which, by the way, all 3 of these have not been modified from their factory configuration other than the one with the grip stuff. They still all have all factory parts in it. No, different recoil springs, different triggers, different trigger, releases or whatever they're called. None of that stuff. So they're all factory. So let's get a weight, and then let's get a trigger pull, and then let's get it out on the range to see how it shoots. I'm sure it will. Well, I already know I've shot it a lot. This thing is super reliable. But again, I have not put it on paper, so I don't know where it's hitting. 2186, and with the factory supplied 17 round magazine, 24.63. That's pretty good. So let's see what the trigger pull looks like on this one. Let me rack it. Oh, let me take the mag out. Okay. See what the old Glock trigger pull on the 45. Oop, I went too high with that one. It is not 10. Okay, this one's going to be a dick, I can tell. 394. I don't know about that, but we'll see. All right, yeah, this is going to be 372. You know, it probably is hovering right around a 4-pound trigger pull. 342. So it's hovering right around 3.5 on this one, which is not bad. And you know, you got your standard, there's the wall, take up, take up, take up, take up, take up, brakes. And then the reset. So, yeah, it is a standard Glock, but Glocks are fantastic. So let's get this sucker out to the range and just see how it shoots. All right, folks, so as you can see, we find ourselves back out on the range, this time with the Glock 45. Got some 115 grain Winchester white box. We've got our steel down there, about 25 yards. And we're just gonna see how it shoots. I mean, it's a Glock. I don't expect it to have any problems. I've never had problems out of this gun. So let's just fire it up, man. All right, accuracy portion. We have 3 rounds of the same 115 grain Winchester white box. We got our 3-inch shoot and see. You'll notice it might be a little bit different because I keep forgetting to bring my USPSA target out, but that will work. We have our Glock 45. I'm going to go back 7 yards and see how it shoots. So let's do that. Put my ears on. Okay, so as you can see, it shoots, man. Look, one hole at 7 yards with the cheap Winchester white box, but it is shooting left. So I don't like that. So I'm going to have to adjust the rear sight. I never really shot this gun for accuracy. I just kind of banged away on steel because it's a Glock and I know it'll work in. But that's pretty good damn accuracy right there. A lot better than some of the guns. Well, than a few of the guns I own. But it does need to go to the right. So let's go get the final thoughts. All right, folks. Final thoughts on the Glock Model 45 in 9mm. I think it's fantastic. Look, I want to address something a little bit here. If you'll notice, this isn't the normal. You probably hear my chickens, my AC. I'm on my back deck because I filmed the shooting portion. I thought I filmed the final thoughts. I don't know if the file got corrupted or I just didn't hit the record button because it was so hot out here that I was having trouble seeing the screen. It just shut down and it was overheating. So I might not even have hit the darn button and got the footage. But I was in there editing it. I'm like, where the heck are the final thoughts for the Glock? So I'm out here doing it. Bottom line, I think it's fantastic. It's a Glock, so it is reliable as hell. I love the updates. To me, I said it in the tabletop. To me, this is the pinnacle of Glock. This is the best handgun, in my opinion, that Glock has made. You know, aside from if you want the MOS or something like that. I like how they chamfered the front on the new models. I like the front cocking serrations. The grip feels so much better to me. As discussed in the tabletop with the Glock 19s, the hump feels like holding at least up to Gen 4. I have not fired a Gen 5 Glock 19. I have all the way up till Gen 4. I own, you saw them on the tabletop, 2 Gen 4s. The one I had to reduce the grip because that was always my biggest complaint with the Glock 19 was that hump sits right in my hand. It feels like holding a bar of dial soap. I hate that. But this grip feels perfect. This is excellent. I think this is the best. I dig the 19 slide on the 17 frame because that's basically what this is. And guys, this is basically, again, as discussed in the tabletop, this is basically the gun that Glock submitted to the U.S. Army trials, minus the safety and the color, of course. But that's basically this gun. And I think they nailed it with this one. I dig the target crown on it. I think this is a more accurate barrel. I don't know if they changed barrels for this, the Gen 5. Somebody let me know. But yeah, this is fantastic. Again, the best, in my opinion, this is the best duty size dish handgun that Glocks make. I do wish they would put the darn, why don't you just put a Picatinny rail on the bottom? Glock, why? Just stop. Just put the darn Picatinny rail on the bottom like everybody else does. But anyway, there it is, guys. Oh, by the way, I don't know. Nah, they're not out here. I got my, let me tilt the camera down. Let me pick the camera up for you guys. Let me set this clock down. I'm out here. There's my AI in 6.5 Creedmoor. I'm out here. We have prairie dogs. Yeah, I'm shooting prairie dogs with 6.5, but it's the most accurate rifle I got. I haven't gotten around to getting a dedicated prairie dog gun, but we got them like all out there. And I saw one pop up. I got the rifle, got the laser rangefinder, everything's ready to go. And he went back down, but that's usually what happens. So I figured, hey, I'm out here, might as well refilm the final thoughts for the Glock. And there it is. It is fantastic. In my opinion, it is the best handgun Glock has made to date. So thanks for watching, guys. And we'll see you next time.